Hello, yes, and welcome to another episode of MLS Ireland. Well, I'll be bringing to you my predictions for week 23. Looking forward to this one. Stay tuned. Perfect, thank you very much for joining me this week. There's a good lot of games on this weekend, so I think the first one's going to be on tomorrow, as I'm filming this on Friday night. The Premier League is on at the moment. Liverpool's winning, so I'll not be watching that. It's going to be this game is basically over 4-0 at the moment. So I'm going to may as well. My name is Sean. If you're new to this, I just give out predictions. On each side, you'll probably see a couple of wee scripts of things that teams done over this past while, and my predictions on here against the two teams here, obviously, and all that crack. So I want to start and do it a wee bit shorter this time because 13 minutes is a wee bit too long and I'm rambling on. So the first game is Seattle against New England. Seattle haven't really won the last two games at home this season. Well, the last two home games against Portland, and I can't remember who the next one is, but New England are starting to play very well. They're starting to get their way, and as I said from the last week's one, they finally have grass on their pitch and they're starting to play very well, so that could be a thing. But because now they're playing on turf against Seattle, I think Seattle may have a wee bit too much for them, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. Seattle do score goals when they're at home, but this past two games they've been conceding them as well, but I would say New England may struggle on turf. The next one is Columbus Crew against Cincinnati. Cincinnati, they've been very poor, unfortunately. So is Columbus Crew, weirdly enough. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win. I'm not expecting too much of this game, to be fair. Two teams who just really haven't been at it this season, just let's say, and two teams are not really scoring the best. So the next game is Toronto against Orlando. Yes, I got that correct. Yes, I got that correct. Toronto, up and down, but they're doing better now at the stages of the season at home than they were kind of at the start. Orlando, not so much away from home. At home, they have the fans and they do pretty well. Against Toronto, I don't think they can do that well away from home. It is going to be a tight game, but I think Toronto with Altidore, Bradley, all those ones are probably now starting to click at home. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. Toronto should easily win this 2-0. I'm going to go for the next game is FC Dallas against Minnesota. FC Dallas, do they know what they're doing? They're kind of on and off. They've won kind of like half of their games from home this season, and they're playing against the Minnesota team who are pretty good at home, but away from home they're just not as much. So FC Dallas is a very young team, very good team, but kind of still lacking that leader, where Minnesota has that rawness behind them and they're starting to tick. But it's going to be an interesting one, so I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to FC Dallas. FC 1-0 being the most common score this season, so I'm going to go for another one. And the next one is Sporting Kansas City against Real Salt Lake. Two teams. Sporting Kansas City started off very badly because they were playing the Milkman, they're playing everybody, against Real Salt Lake, who were basically behind everybody, going past them, and nobody noticed them, and they're slowly rising up, and wouldn't be surprised if they'll be in the playoffs, which I would suggest they probably will be, against Sporting Kansas City, who I think the ship has sailed, perhaps. I hope not. I would like to see Johnny Russell and co in the playoffs, but I think it may be a wee bit too much for them to really crawl back into the playoffs stages. So I am going to go for a 2-1 win to Real Salt Lake. So apologise to any Sporting Kansas City fans. The next one is Chicago Fire against Montreal. Montreal, a very strange team. They've lost their last 5 games. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a weird one. Chicago Fire, not very good at the moment. Really, are they ever good? Unfortunately, I think the last 2 seasons when they got Bastian Schweinsteiger in, they kind of got on momentum, but they've kind of died since then. against Montreal, who finally have a new player, Bojan. I don't know if he'll be fit enough to start because he hasn't played in quite a long time, but I'll probably see him off the bench. So, saying that, I'm going to go for a Chicago 2, Montreal 1. Because I think Bojan will probably come on in the second half and kind of light things up a bit, but I think the game's going to be far gone for them at that stage. Next game is San Jose. San Jose, who are in the last 8 games, are probably the best team in form at the moment, which at the start of the season you wouldn't have never thought of about that. Against Colorado, who are second to bottom in the whole Supporters Shield, and started to play a wee bit well the last few games. They won their last game, but I think they're going to win this game. It's going to be a tricky one for them. They beat Montreal, the last team, so it's going to be a tricky one. So San Jose probably will have enough for them at the moment. They're in the form and they're playing away from home, who lately now they're doing very well away from home against a team who at home will score goals, but they do like them quite a lot. So I'm going to go for a 3-2 to San Jose. Would they probably going to score? Wouldn't Dowski or wherever it come? Should score easily in this game. The next one is Cascadia's Derby against Portland against Vancouver. I had a Portland top and took it out and bit as well. Anyway, Portland against Vancouver. Portland not doing very well at the stage of the season. They got beat against Minnesota, but they've been winning the games and drawing games and haven't lost a game quite as badly since then. Are taking on Vancouver, who won their last game against Cincinnati, who I think have gotten beaten by everybody. So I'm going to go for, in this game, I'm going to go for a Portland Timbers 2-1 win. I think Portland Timbers at home with their fans in a Cascadia kind of derby, I think they're going to have enough for them as they beat Seattle last time in the last Cascadia thingy. And the next game is Atlanta against New York City FC. It's going to be on here on TV, which I'm really looking forward to. It's going to be a tight game. Going to be really good. New York City FC, the Kings of looking good and not really doing that good, and against a team who are very good but don't look really like they're doing that good. It's funny that. New York City FC actually played last night because it's Thursday. Played Thursday night and they beat. They won last night, so it was a pretty good result for them. This game is going to be a wee bit more tight for them. The distance for them to travel basically down to Atlanta with a day's rest and a day's of practice against Atlanta, who are very possession based. So this is going to be a wee bit too tight for them. But I would say it's going to be a draw, so I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. New York City FC, when they need to, they're not going to lose, so I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. The next one is Philadelphia against Houston. Houston was playing NYCFC last night and they got beat 3-2. So Philadelphia, who basically stuffed DC United and made Wayne Rooney go back to England and to Derby, so I can't see anything other than Philadelphia winning this game. Philadelphia are on a roll at the moment. They do take their mind off a couple of games, but then they get back on track quite well. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 win to Philadelphia Union. It's going to be a good game. And the next one is DC United against LA Galaxy. It's going to be on TV here as well because, you know, Wayne Rooney, God forbid, I don't think DC is going to be on TV much next year when Wayne Rooney's gone. So we may as well enjoy it while we have it. So DC United against LA Galaxy. So Wayne Rooney against Zlatan in the news basically every week because some reporters go up to him and ask him what does he think of stuff, and he just gives them one line and then they run for it for a whole week. It's just the same crack every week, and they're playing Wayne Rooney, who is basically not enjoying the heat here. So it's going to be one of those games. I would say it's going to be a DC United win 2-1, unless Zlatan basically pulls it out of the hat against Wayne Rooney and shows him who's boss. But I'm going to say DC United's probably going to have a wee bit too much for their LA Galaxy's backline, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. The next and the last one is LAFC against New York Red Bulls. Kind of an LA, New York, LA. Anyway, you know what I mean. LAFC, probably the best team this year, are the best team this year, probably going to win the Supporters' Shield quite easily. They're miles ahead against Red Bulls, who I thought would have done better this season, but it's clearly that Adams leaving has hurt them quite badly. At home, LAFC should really walk this game, and I do see it happening, unless New York Red Bulls really go at this very tactically, as they usually do, press from the front, like they did against New York City FC. They're going to try, if it all fails, they're going to resort to their plan B, which they do really have, which a lot of teams really don't. So yes, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I just think LAFC should have it really sewing up. And so that is my predictions for this week. I hope you enjoyed them. If you're new to this, hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see you on the next one. So good luck. Bye now.